Now to the story Fox 4 viewers kind of love to hate.
Yes.
It's Sanders versus Sanders, primetime versus Pilar.
Yeah, Deion Sanders and his soon-to-be ex, they're in divorce court fighting over the validity of the couple's prenup. Pilar and her attorney told the court the 1999 prenup was no good because her initials were not in her handwriting and in a different ink. But the judge ruled the contract valid and ordered the case to arbitration. This is for the third time.
We're not giving up. I'm not going to give up for my children. I'm going to continue to fight for what they deserve and for what they need.
It's just another lie in the whole line of lies. I believe last week she was alleging that child support wasn't paid. We haven't heard that. Every month has been paid, and then some.
Now in court today, Pilar's attorney from 1999 said that Pilar insisted on a $1 million settlement and a $100,000, quote, signing bonus when she signed the prenup, both of which Deion approved.
Divorce attorney Abby Ewing joins us to talk about Deion's nonstop divorce drama. How frequently do couples try to get a prenup just simply thrown out?
It's very difficult in Texas to get a prenup thrown out. And so you need to evaluate at the very beginning of your case whether or not you're willing to spend the money to try and go down that road to have it thrown out. And so it's very rare, very rare. I would say in cases involving prenups, probably 5% of those cases actually involve somebody trying to have it invalidated.
Why is it so hard? Is it the money? What is it?
That's a good question. Texas has made it particularly hard. We think that people should be able to contract about their marital assets and the division of those assets, and so when they do that, we try to protect and honor that agreement, and we basically say that only under certain circumstances are you going to be able to invalidate this agreement, and we presume that a prenuptial agreement is valid, and we make it the burden of the person trying to prove otherwise to show that it's not.
Deion went on a rant when he left the courtroom today. Let's listen. I want to get your reaction.
Okay.
It was a lie about abuse. It was a lie about infidelity because she cheated. That's why I left her. It was a lie about child support. Now it's a lie about the prenuptial agreement. You stood in front of a judge and said, I agree to all the terms of this prenuptial. They asked you specific questions and you said yes. Now, when it all goes wrong, you don't like the agreement. And you make up these lies and get the sleaziest scumbag attorney you could find in the city to represent you.
Does that help Deion? Does it hurt him?
I don't think it helps him or it hurts him. I think at the end of the day, based on what happened in the courtroom today, people won't be surprised by kind of his outrage that an agreement that both he and Pilar signed, she's now trying to invalidate. And ultimately, I think that the position he's taking, at least now in this case, is one that everyone can kind of relate to. But at the end of the day, the judge, or in this case the arbitrator, is going to make these decisions, and they're decisions that they'll make based on the law, not Deion's interviews or tweets, or luckily for him, the tweets won't be considered.
And he does tweet a lot. Pilar does too.
He did today.
Abby, have you been called a scumbag attorney?
No, not to my face. I haven't been. I mean, at the end of the day, your reputation is everything. So that would be really difficult to hear from anyone, even somebody you're opposing, because that's all you have as an attorney.
Is that part of the job sometimes?
To be a scumbag?
No, to get that kind of vehemence from the opposing party.
It depends on the context. I mean, there are certain situations in a courtroom during a highly contested hearing where you aren't going to be friends with your client's spouse. But you don't, there are certain lines, I think, that that you need to not cross, regardless of the situation. And it's tough being an attorney, I think, anyhow, because people tend to think of attorneys as, scumbags, to use Deion's word again. And, so we do need to be really careful about the way we conduct ourselves in court and out of court.
This is going to arbitration for the third time. What do you think the likelihood is that the arbitrator is going to support Pilar's claims?
I don't think it's likely. Based on the evidence as I know it, there might be some things I'm not aware of. But at the end of the day, it sounds like the judge today already decided that she voluntarily signed this agreement. So now she's left with the argument that she didn't have full disclosure of Deion's assets at the time she signed it, and therefore it should be invalidated. And that is going to be a hard argument to make, because I'm guessing she signed a waiver of disclosure, basically a document before you sign the prenup that says, I have enough information, he's told me what he owns, and I don't need to know anymore. She probably did sign it because the attorneys who drafted this are, good attorneys, and they would have made sure that she did that. Then there's the issue of it wasn't a secret what Deion was worth, and they were flying around on private jets. She got a $100,000 signing bonus to sign this, so it will be hard for her to say she had no idea that he had a lot of money.
So who pays for this? The losing party?
It depends. Usually the prenup will state who pays for it, and usually it is the losing party who ends up paying the bill.
So it's going to go to arbitration. That will be determined, and then the divorce proceeding would begin.
That's correct. The arbitration will decide whether or not the premarital agreement, the prenup, is valid. And once that's decided, it will go. The rest of the case will be decided in court by the judge.
Abby Ewing, thank you.
Thank you so much.